Is it on?
Yeah.
Okay, hello world. Well, we're going to get started with our project for this week. I should say hello world and Nolan. We're going to get started with our project this week. And this is doing a little bit of investigation, a little bit of intelligence gathering on people or companies, because that's a big part of being successful in business. Before we do that, and we're doing it today on who? VaynerMedia?
Yes. Gary Vaynerchuk from VaynerMedia.
Is it on VaynerMedia or on him?
VaynerMedia.
VaynerMedia.
We have a little bit on everything here.
Okay, all right.
The two go hand in hand.
Now, before we do that though, so I have been authorized, actually authorized in the past, but I forgot to do it, from Nolan to acknowledge extra work above and beyond the call of duty. And so what the person gets for that is a signed copy of this, Nolan's book about Steve Jobs. Oops, this is the wrong one, but I brought the wrong one in. So this is this is Sophie's, my daughter Sophie's. But yeah, good. It's not backwards. So Nolan's giving this away, one of these away this week for work that was above and beyond the call of duty. Now, everybody pretty much did something good. I say pretty much. I think, Fernando didn't really, but he's a week behind everyone else. So it's not a personal thing, but the work that the team did is really good. And if we keep at this pace in, I don't know, a couple months, this would be something that is a real thing that Nolan would consider saying, okay, I'm doing something for Hyperloop. I need this done. Can you guys do this for me in a week? What the actual intent of Snap is for, is to get people to that level where they can be doing actual stuff. So we're making good progress. So this is for you, but not that one. So that's Nolan's book. It's a pretty good book on business.
Cool.
Okay.
Mhm.
So now we'll turn it around and have you guys do your thing.
Cool. Hello world. What's up, people? So we're in Snap class. Project this week was doing a little background investigation on Gary Vaynerchuk, who is the CEO and founder of VaynerMedia, amongst other things, media mogul, entrepreneur. I got a little biography on the man. I didn't really know that I was watching what I was watching 2 months ago on Gary. I was watching his videos about hustling in the streets of New Jersey because he's a prolific speaker. He's got a lot to say about things that make sense to our younger generation, puts it in terminology that we can really understand, and gives us some kind of input in the world of being an entrepreneur and what it means to go out and really get what you need from the people around you. So I got a little bio on him. He's born in the USSR. Fortunately, his parents made their way to America, and he lived in a little apartment in Queens when he was a kid growing up. Really didn't have a lot of money. After they moved out of Queens, they went to Edison, New Jersey. Familiar with New Jersey? I lived there for a little while. Not the best part of Jersey. As a young child, he really began seeing the world in a different way. I can relate a lot to this dude because of the way he thinks, like I said. So a little story is he began ripping flowers out of his neighbor's yard, and the natural charm that he had, he initially started selling these flowers that he ripped out of his neighbor's yard back to the neighbors to make a profit. He also started operating lemonade stands when he was little, riding his big wheel back and forth between locations That's how little he was when he started this. So, and collecting profits. So in his early teens, he found a local market for baseball cards, started distributing baseball cards, making a couple thousand a weekend in his early teens. So he had, at the age of 14, he had that mindset to go get it right away. Unfortunately, his dad had purchased, unfortunately at the time, eventually leading into a big fortune for his family. But unfortunately at the time, his dad bought a liquor store, and his dad hired him at the liquor store for $2 an hour to bag ice. So he went from making a couple grand in a weekend to bagging ice for his dad at the liquor store for $2 an hour. Currently, he builds businesses. That's what he does. He grew that liquor store from, when he took it over from his father, $3 million business to a $60 million business in 5 years. He opened up VaynerMedia, which we'll get into a little bit more in a little bit about opening up this media company and what he has been doing with this media company and how it's just a successful boom that he's put together. And he's considered it's considered one of the world's hottest digital agencies. So segueing into what I've been doing personally is I've been building, sort of the Italian American media hub, focusing a lot on that this week. And because he's so successful, I've been looking at what he's doing compared to what we're doing and emulating and imitating what he's been doing. Obviously, the most successful people in the world don't go out and make the mistakes. They learn from other people's mistakes, in turn, not having to reinvent the wheel and just rolling with it, putting their own spin on things. So I also learned that he's a venture capitalist, angel investor, investing in Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Uber, Birchbox before anybody else really got involved, and then founding Vayner RSE, which is a $25 million investment fund that he has going on as well. He also hosts a show, #AskGaryV, and he just answers questions to entrepreneurs, posts everything on social media, has a lot to say about startups, how his family influenced his businesses, and the lifetime of building a successful multi-million-dollar company. And that's also on podcast, iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, which are something that we have to look into as well. We have a lot of digital media. We have a lot of recorded media that we should really put out there. People like to hear what we have to say, I'm sure. He's also a public speaker. He speaks all over the world. He was named in both Fortune and Crane's 40 under 40 lists in consecutive years, and he's been in New York Times, Fortune magazine, and Incorporated magazine. So really, to wrap it all up, Gary Vaynerchuk is a dude from Russia who is the co-founder and CEO, that grew up poor, made his way to being a co-founder and CEO of social media brand consulting agencies, wine retail store owner, video blogger, entrepreneur who has a personal net worth now of $10 million. So it's someplace that we'd really like to emulate and really like to be like eventually. Just to give you a brief overview before I'm out of here, the collective things that he's put together, his ventures, include the wine library, the Thunder Show for the wine library. He does pop-up wine spots at different places on the East Coast. It's like a San Gennaro almost, but it's a pop-up restaurant. So he'll just announce it the day before on social media, and it'll be sold out and flooded in no time. VaynerMedia, like I said, the Ask Gary V show, and the Vayner RSE, which is his innovative company that's an investment firm. So, but the other guy's got stuff to say. I hope that was a good bio for you guys. Like I said, we really want to be like this guy. We really want to do what he's doing and put our own spin on it, and hopefully show it to him one day and see what he thinks of the whole project. So without further ado, who's taking over? Mikey, Bubats, Dave, who's going?
I'll go.
All right.
David here, Snap X. No, I'm fine right here.
Okay.
Can you see? Well, David covered a pretty good scope with his bio, so I'm going to cover a little bit of the services. And as David mentioned, he runs
Okay, hold on one second. Okay, that was good. I just want to interject a couple things to help maybe you, but you guys, the rest of you, have the opportunity to be prepared to implement this. So what I want you to do is, first of all, talk about what you're going to talk about. I'm going to talk about this, this, and this.
Okay.
Then talk about those things. And then at the end, talk about what you talked about. So like in law school, they say, tell the jury what you're going to tell them, then tell them what you told them. So kind of introduction, main part, summary. All right. So we know where you're going. And let's start with a good or bad guy, because one of the questions I was going to ask you up until the very end was, so is this guy a good guy that we want to really do stuff?
I answered.
Yeah. So I didn't ask you at the end because you had it. But in the beginning, let's give these people an idea where we're going.
So just
Sort of a roadmap.
Straight to the facts, because that's what
Tell
I
us
was
what you're
doing
going to talk
with my
about.
own kind of
Tell us what
style.
you're going to talk about. I'm going to
Yeah.
talk about this, this, and this.
That's what I was doing.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
So,
So jump right into, I'm going to talk about this, this, and this.
yeah, so just straight facts.
Then talk about what you were, then
Yeah.
get into the details.
Yeah, I was making it conversational.
Okay. And then at the end, just summarize.
Okay.
Okay.
No conversational.
No, you can make it conversational, but the process is, here's what I'm going to talk about. What is it you're going to talk about?
Well, before I got interrupted, services.
That's it? What does that mean?
That's the services that VaynerMedia provides,
Okay.
and or Gary Vaynerchuk.
Okay, so you would list those services.
Right
You go
off the
blah, blah,
bat.
blah. And then you add meat to the bones.
Yeah.
And then you go back and
Yeah,
summarize.
I was still on the introduction part of.
I know, but I don't want you to do that. I want you to immediately jump into, here's what I'm going to talk
Cut
about.
the conversation out.
Or you can do that right after we know where you're going.
Okay.
Okay? You can still do your introduction, but it's just frame what we're talking about.
Okay.
Not this high level Gary Vaynerchuk in media or Gary Vaynerchuk in media services. It's, what are the services?
Okay.
Okay?
Services. Creative and production, social analysis. I apologize. Community management, paid media, consumer insights, account management, and strategy.
Okay, now this is what VaynerMedia does?
Yes, correct.
Okay, got it.
And Gary Vaynerchuk essentially goes around speaking at different forums, TED Talks, YouTube, and on social media about how to improve your business and stuff. So I guess that would be a sort of indirect service that he provides. But as far as VaynerMedia, those are the services they provide.
Okay, now let me ask a question of these other guys. What are you going to talk about, Steve?
His offices,
Like the people in them, or just the physical?
the 5 different offices, what the goal of each office is. number of
Okay, what are
employees,
you going
when
to talk
it's
about,
open.
Mike?
About all his key people.
Okay,
all
were you able to find that very much?
Yeah.
Okay, good. TJ?
Pros and cons to growing from 40 employees to over 500 employees in just 40 months.
Okay. Fernando?
That he's spoken in 7 different countries. And he has had.
That's it?
And he's wrote 5 books.
Okay. Do
Written.
you have the list of what the books are?
Yeah.
Good, okay.
I guess, not to interject, but I guess I should have, being the opener of the whole situation, I should have gone through it and
Next week.
done an introduction
Yeah.
on what everybody's gonna be doing, and then got into his bio. and
Yeah,
introduced myself.
so kind of the thing, think now like we are the audience now.
Yeah.
And if this is going to be 40 minutes long, we need to grab them in the beginning, even though they might say, oh, well, good, they're going to talk about his other people, because we don't know who his other people are, because we can't find it because they're very secretive. If they know we're going to be talking about that, they might stick around, as opposed to, we don't know where this is going.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Yeah.
Good. All right, Dave, do you want to
All
start
right.
from the top, or do you want to just start where you are?
Let's see if I can make it all the way through here.
Okay.
Well, I'll just kind of pick up where I left off, since I already listed some of the services they provide. I'll just go right into those services so we don't end this up being a 4-hour video here. Creative and production. they provide writers and art directors and a photos team, video team, and then other type creative production related areas all in one thing, so that you can go to them and develop commercials and stuff like that to help promote your company. And then they also provide social analysis. So their social analysis team starts with a top to bottom analysis of different channels that you use for your social networking, everything from how your competitors are doing to what your consumers really want. And afterwards, they assess ways to identify opportunities to make your brand help flourish. They do community management as well, where, excuse me, you learn all the best storyteller there is, according to them, everything from content creation, publishing, and production to analytics, live events, and fundamentals of the startup world. Different areas and locations and offices and resources you can use in your community. They have consumer insights as one of their services. Consumer insights, this moment brands and their consumers are closer than ever, which allows them to listen, understand, and analyze.
Okay, hold on. Now, when you're reading, we can't follow you
Why?
because we don't know where the sentences start and go because it's too hard. So let's focus on a couple of them, since somebody in the world is watching.
Focus on
A particular service.
Oh, a particular service?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I like the thing that he talks about regarding tell a story, be good storytellers. Did you get any particular information on that?
Well,
Or what do you feel is the strongest, the most important information you found?
the most important information I found or gleaned from watching his videos is that the way to reach your consumers is changing. He mentioned the world used to listen to the radio.
Okay.
And nobody thought that when TV came around, the TV was going to be a world changer as far as how people shopped and thought, and nobody had any idea the implications that TV.
Because the quality was so bad compared to radio, or
Because
what?
the concept was so new that they couldn't fathom how it would affect the way marketing, how it would affect marketing essentially, and how to reach people and how close it would bring your consumers, because no longer did they have to catch a radio station or see a flyer or hear word of mouth. You could reach the world in seconds.
Okay.
So now,
With TV.
With TV.
And now what's he saying?
Now he's saying with the phones,
Yeah.
and the internet and everything, phones are going to be the new way to reach your market. Facebook, social media, these things are going to be huge. And if you're not partaking in advertising on these platforms, then you're cutting your own throat. Especially if you're trying to reach anybody 36 and under, 36 to say 15. If your target group's between 15 and 36 and you don't have social media or you're not using some of those platforms that are out there, then well, he put it in a little bit of foul language I won't go into, but he's basically called you an idiot.
You're talking about where he said it'll blow your fucking face off?
Yeah. Okay, I didn't say it.
So did you get anything where he talked about content versus context?
Content versus context. No, I wasn't.
That social media is not just channels, that the context of Facebook is different than Pinterest. So you can't just run the same
Oh,
content
yes,
on
yes.
different channels. Okay,
Yeah.
so what did he say about those? And we'll talk about Snapchat.
My focus was mainly on services,
Okay,
so my focus wasn't really into the area of the different aspects of the context.
okay, the services that
Involved.
VaynerMedia
Yeah,
provides.
the
Okay.
services that
What's their
VaynerMedia
stronger
provides.
service? What did you find?
He seems to be real big for Snapchat and Facebook.
Okay,
All
now
right.
I don't really know what Snapchat is. What is that?
Pictures.
Pictures, video that you can post immediately.
But you can put a finite time that someone can view them. Like I could send you a picture over Snapchat and you only can look at it for 10 seconds.
Right.
And you
Once I open it?
Yeah, once it's open, it's only 10 seconds, then to leave it off your account.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
all right. But what's a good purpose for Snapchat? That would be a good, bad purpose.
Well, he has, actually,
What is,
I found some cool stuff that he's doing right now with some, a new project that he has opening up.
okay.
Let me just get to it real fast.
Okay, in the meantime, Dave, so when you're ready, just
Okay.
give the heights on. What else? What's another key services? Would you say they provide as
YouTube.
many services as everyone else? More services, fewer services?
I would say
Like if you go to VaynerMedia, do they provide the same amount, more or less than the leaders in the field?
they probably provide around the same amount of services, but they go further into providing those services or
The
provide them.
newer services, the new technology stuff?
Yeah, they provide them
That's his
in a
niche.
better way. Yeah,
That's the thing.
that's
He
his
says,
thing.
go with us because,
We're the best.
okay.
This is what I do.
Anybody know how much money he made on Twitter,
Um,
investing in Twitter?
No, I don't.
Okay. Okay. Okay, good. What's your wrap up?
Well, I don't know.
Your summary.
My summary is essentially VaynerMedia. You don't need them if you understand what they do. You could do it yourself.
Hmm. Okay. Okay, like we do.
Yeah, like we do.
Okay, okay.
So I mean, it's up to you if it would depend on the person. It's a valuable resource if you don't want to dedicate the time or you don't have the resources of 5, 8 people, 6, 8 people
Okay.
to spend or whatever. Because
See,
it
my
does
hunch
take
would
some
be
time.
if you're DeQuino
Yeah, if you're DeQuino,
and you want to get people to know about your wine,
yeah, excellent resource.
it's not that he has the people sitting around that can do campaigns
Yes.
like he could do. It's that he's got how many thousand people follow him?
I don't know.
A lot, right? Does
Yeah.
anybody know how many followers he has on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat? Okay, so we missed that.
It's like 1 million.
Okay,
It's a lot of followers.
On
Is that
Twitter, it's like 1.2 million.
Yeah,
1.2 million.
Yeah.
So if he says something,
People-
1.2 million.
people get it.
Smartphones.
Bing.
Okay, good. Okay, good, Dave.
Okay,
Good.
so I figured out what I was,
Okay.
because I had briefly gone over it when I was going through his bio, trying to figure out where he made his money, how he made his money, that kind of stuff piques an interest in my mind. So he has a new accomplishment that he's coming out with on Snapchat to sell real estate. And the way he's doing it is he's using his Snapchat to corner the market, and then putting houses that are up for sale onto Snapchat, and then the first person that opens the Snapchat gets to see the house before anybody else. So if there's a market out there for it's a little thing, but he sells real estate in Malibu amongst everything else that he does.
Uh-huh.
And for houses that are $10 million or over, he prices them on Snapchat.
Okay. So can you think of what Avon just said, Dave, can you think of anything that would go in your graffiti business?
Best.
I mean, with the Snapchat thing?
Yeah.
The Snapchat thing?
Yeah.
Well,
using Snapchat as a cool thing for your business.
Yeah, well, the more you pay for your post, the longer it stays up. So if you want your post to stay up a week.
Well, that means they send it to you and they would pay and you would send the Snapchat out. Right?
Yeah.
Somebody says to you, I mean, how long can you leave things on Snapchat?
Well, in this particular thing, he's doing the whole house walkthrough
Yeah.
on Snapchat.
Yeah, but let me ask this question.
However long you want. You can make it indefinite if you want.
But you could say 10 days.
10 days.
So Dave could sell, you've got this wall for 10 days or it's so much a day.
Yeah.
It's 10 cents a day.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Or depending upon, okay, so that's a good thing.
Right.
What else about the Snapchat? Anything else? Anybody thinks of?
Yeah, it's a no-brainer for the
Regarding what
Italian,
he's doing?
for Italian American media. It's a no-brainer.
Okay. All right.
We have to have a Snapchat account for Italian American media for all of the things that we do.
He was saying Snapchat is like number one to promote business.
Huh.
I mean,
Okay, all right, so that's the thing we need to add to the list to learn. Okay, who's next?
Me.
Okay, so Avon, you have to move just a little bit to your left.
I'll get over again. That's why I'm going to do it.
I don't want to steal the camera.
Okay,
All right,
okay.
I'm going to be talking
Who
about,
are you?
my name is Michael.
Okay, Michael what?
And DeVault.
Oh, not your Italian name?
Michael Mini Fridge Pumbazza.
Okay, all right.
We had to change it to Mini Fridge.
Oh,
The
Why?
big fridge just didn't make sense, you know what I mean? The mini fridge makes sense.
okay. What are you gonna talk about?
I'm going to be talking about Gary's key people for his success.
Okay. How many are there?
I think I have 8. I have his father, Sasha, his brother, AJ, his friend, David Rock, Samantha Edis, his wife, Lizzie, his mother, Tamara, his son, Xavier, his daughter, Misha.
Okay, so what can we guess if he has a son named Xavier?
He likes X-Men.
No? Well, that would be one thing, yeah, that would be one thing. Well, where did that come from?
Did you go to school?
Why did
with
the
Xavier?
X-Men choose Xavier?
Why did-
Jesuits?
Aha!
Aha! That's why I said the school, he probably went to school with
The
Xavier.
number 2 most famous Jesuit of all time was Francis Xavier. What is the guy in the X-Men's first name? Anybody know? Charles. Oh, good, Fernando.
Never seen
Excellent.
it. Never seen the X-Men.
Okay, so I wouldn't admit that. That's the kind of thing you keep to yourself.
To be embarrassed.
Okay, Mike, you're up.
All right. So, first off, his father, Sasha.
Okay, wait a second. I gotta
Yes.
go back to, I had a point and interrupted. And it wasn't just Xavier. So, do you have any information on the people at VaynerMedia or besides him?
Yeah, like,
Because that's what we need to know is who's there. Like who's the guy from Colorado that's now his chief creative guy? Okay, proceed. We don't care so much about his family.
okay.
Okay, those are his inspirations.
Right, yes. So
Okay,
that's
what we want to
that's
know
what
is
my
who else is
question was.
VaynerMedia?
Okay, well, brother's AJ.
Yeah, right.
Vaynerchuk.
And what does he do?
Well, he helped him co-found VaynerMedia.
Okay, what does he do now at Vayner?
Just. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's a good question.
Okay, oops,
Just keep your out.
I just muted her. Sorry, Sherry.
I'm sure.
Okay, while you're doing that, let's go to the next one. So what are you gonna talk about? Steve?
My name's Steven Burke.
Okay, shalom, as our people say.
I'm Steve Burke.
Proceed.
I'm going to talk about the different offices that VaynerMedia has throughout the United States and throughout the world.
Okay.
They had 5 offices, but as of 2 weeks ago, they only have 4 now.
Okay.
It's an unfortunate incident. They closed their San Francisco office. It was supposed to be the starting of a tech hub on the West Coast because he wants to emulate the values of Silicon Valley. So when they opened the San Francisco office, it was originally planned to bring tech-savvy people from that area into his business and ultimately send them back to New York.
Huh.
The reason that is because New York, that's the central office for VaynerMedia, obviously. They've outgrown their 5 previous spaces in New York City in only 7 years. He got his first office space in 2009, 2006, 7 years later. They've outgrew 5 previous spaces.
Okay.
His newest space.
Well, let me ask you this question. Does anybody here know how long it took Apple to sell the first 100 iPhones? First million iPhones?
Before they came out.
No, how long did it take Apple to sell the first million iPhones?
Was it a short amount of time or was it a
It took like 2 years to
Yeah.
sell the first million,
So that-
no, first million
iPhone.
PCs.
PCs, that's all?
Okay, took 74 days to sell 1 million iPhones.
Oh.
So I don't know that 7 years is like only 7 years.
Well, I mean, to outgrow 5 locations, that's fast growth.
Well,
And now he's
how
at,
big was the first one?
well, now he's at
Is it as
90,
big as our office?
I mean, now he's at 90,000 square feet.
Okay, so how big is that? How many
90
football fields?
3? About 100,000 square feet of football field.
About 43,000. So it's about 2 football fields.
It's a lot of space.
A lot of space.
Well, it's big.
5 floors in that building?
No, he's on the 25th floor. It's a brand new construction project.
No, it's not, there's not a, I don't think there's a floor one floor that's 25 stories up that's that large.
According to his contact, it lists that as their.
Okay, well, that could be 25th floor and we have 24, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
We've got some guys on the 16th floor. But okay, proceed. That's good. Good information.
10 Hudson Yard. It's a new facility and it's in a brand new takeoff area. It's the newest office in one of the hottest developments in New York City. It's premier business. L'Oreal is there, a famous fashion designer's there. I can't remember the name right now, but there was 3 major like anchor retailers that operate out of there, and he wanted to be one of them.
Any idea how much it is per foot?
No.
Okay,
I don't.
okay.
Probably not cheap,
No, it can't be cheap.
25 floors up.
No. And he wants to develop, he wanted to transfer people from Silicon Valley none of his locations located in Long employees. From my research, Chattanooga, Tennessee is a tech startup and entrepreneurship
Okay, so where did you hear he lost that? What was the source of that?
Let me pull it up right now.
Okay. And the mind map is shared?
Yes.
Good.
Let's see. Yesterday, we learned that A-B in beverage is searching for a new agency to handle digital/social for its Bud Light and Michelob Ultra brand. Story followed news, the agency parting ways with an unspecified number of New York employees after running through an unorthodox round of performance reviews.
Did you happen to see any of those videos or what they produced for Bud Light?
No, I watched his personal videos, like the
Okay.
10 secrets to business success.
Yeah, okay. But we don't have an opinion whether they were crap,
No, I'm just going off what,
which is what Anheuser-Busch felt, right?
obviously was not happy with it with their Bud Light and Michelob Ultra brands. So,
So, so let's make, who would be the person that would research that? If we could see what the ad was. Okay, why don't you do it right now? All right, good.
You know, one of the things about, especially having that kind of overhead being in a business like this, is, you know, you're trying to pay for your overhead and you're trying to make money at the same time. And another company like our company comes in and are younger, hungrier, you know, gonna beat the tab of Vayner. It happens in business all the time.
Right,
You can't-
well, that's how he got it.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. So you can't fault the VaynerMedia because they lost one or two clients, really, because it's business.
Okay, but you can't build a business if you open an office in San Francisco or a place,
Yeah.
right? And then you lay off, how many people got laid off total? Do you think with he closed one office, and I thought I heard you say he laid off a bunch of people in New York.
he did. They were talking about close to 160.
Total? Okay, that's a big number. That would be a big hit.
That's a big hit.
Exactly. When that interview I read on Fortune magazine's website, Fortune stated that he grew too rapidly, opening too many different locations because he pretty much opened 2 new locations per year.
Okay,
I mean, well, that makes sense. That's too much overhead.
1 in 2014, 2 in 2015, a move in 2016, and a new office
what was the move in 2016?
to the
Chattanooga?
the Premier building in New York.
Oh.
Because that was a brand new building that he is partners with the investment. The Vaynerchuk RSC investment,
Yeah.
you know, he's tied hand in hand with him as part of the reason he did this, but a move obviously cost business expense, raise overhead, you have 90,000 square feet.
So maybe the problem is you got one guy, Gary, one superstar, and a whole bunch of mediocre people.
It's quite possible.
Because if you had good people, right, and you let them go, what happens the next time you say we're hiring?
Well, here's another thing
The
about
good
that.
people don't go.
No.
Exactly, because they're gonna get let go.
The other thing about that, the whole blood is thicker than water thing, he has a lot of his family working in his businesses with him. And they might be in positions to where they're not really qualified for those positions. And instead of him
Okay,
looking for the right qualified people for those positions,
he's hiring people he can trust.
he's hiring his family,
Okay,
which, great. But if you are looking from the business aspect of things, that might not be the best move for you to make to become more financially secure than you already are. It might end up costing you money.
okay, good. So now another thing that's like that this could be, we don't know. So family's definitely an issue. Tony Hsieh, when they first moved to downtown, their building was full, which I think we can see their building out the window right now behind the El Cortez. But then he implemented a new management thing called a holacracy. And a lot of people said this is not good. And he said, okay, well, anybody who doesn't like it, you can leave. We'll give you a severance package. And now 2 of the parking lots are empty. There's like 5 cars in these parking lots that have 300 parking spaces. So he's down at least 600 people. I don't know about inside the building, But it's hard for him to get good people now because of fear or lack of confidence in management. So if you, now let's talk about Glassdoor. So what are the criticisms of him as a manager? Steve?
53% of people on Glassdoor on the reviews said they approve Gary Vaynerchuk as the CEO. The reviews reflected they, like the mid-level management is not either trained or experienced for the level of company growth.
Okay, because of the company growth.
Exactly, they're easily overwhelmed. And a lot of times they either say they end up leading their own projects or they end up pretty much under the thumb, like micromanage. When, you know what I'm saying, it's not necessary, but the person doesn't really want to know what to do, so they're like, I'll just stay on them until I think it's done right. When, you know, you gotta give people the amount of space to be like, you know, do your projects, you keep reporting in good results, it's a win-win. The other complaint was he does not pay what industry standard salaries are for similar positions, if not same positions, at other companies that are competitors, and then other standard advertising and marketing agencies.
Okay, but that's not, we can't put too much weight on that because if you're a company that has high growth and you're opening offices and things, people will put in the time because they want to get a promotion.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you're at a company that's stable, you know, one of the big companies that's stable, they don't grow by very much, now you have to focus on retention. So you have to pay a little bit of premium to get people to stay at the big firms. Otherwise, they'll leave and go to VaynerMedia. So we can't put a lot of weight on the fact that he doesn't pay a lot because there's probably a lot of people that started early on really got swept up in the upward growth as he was hiring more people. Probably hired a lot of lower people. You know, how many was the most people he had? 600?
No, the highest claimed was 750 across the
Okay,
network.
so of the 750, my hunch is it wasn't 750 people better than the people that started. It was some, maybe 100. But most of the people hired went under the people that started there, and they got promotions.
You're mostly going to hire normal people. You're not mostly going to hire management.
Correct.
So
Unless you're the German army after World War I. You're going to get prepared for World War II. Right?
Right. Hire officers then.
You keep your officers and you get rid of the enlisted.
Enlist them at the NCOs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
Sir, Commander.
should we go on to TJ or do you have more?
No, I'm about wrapped up.
Mike, do you have more?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, I found a little bit, it said like the third quarter was the softest performance of the Bud Light for the year of the volume and share perspective. And it's saying like they cut Amy Schumer and Seth Rogen out also.
You know, like the most recent Bud Light commercial?
Yeah.
Like I think like right before the election?
Yes.
When it shows them like driving around, kind of like how you would in an
I haven't seen
election.
it, but yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
They were good commercials.
They were not good.
I liked them.
I
They
did.
were,
Were those Vayner or no?
yeah.
Yeah.
They were bigger.
They were cheap and
Yeah,
just trying to utilize the,
Election cycle.
yeah, it was.
And
It was
Seth
a letdown.
Rogen and Amy Schumer.
They did a little comedy bit.
Okay, why did you like it, Aben?
I thought it was fun.
Well,
I thought both of those people, Amy Schumer and Seth Rogen, are both pretty
so
funny.
we'll set up, what was the commercial?
Okay, I can give an example of one. It shows like a factory with a bunch of union workers, say UAW, right? And you know, you get like the union rep there speaking like, you know, we're gonna bring you more paid days off and you know, higher working salary, better future for your kids, but they're gonna be like, we're gonna give a Bud Light to men and women and minority and all of you. Like it was like a spin-off on that. It was playing on like the emotion of the election cycle.
Okay. Okay.
And then they were saying like,
This Bud Light's for you. That's what that was like their tagline.
And that commercial didn't do well, is what you're saying, Mike?
yeah, it did, it was the worst.
Sales didn't really,
Sales plummeted.
people saw it as stupid.
It was.
But they were saying that
Yeah, but Aben said.
to
it was good.
clarify, they said to clarify that VaynerMedia will continue to offer support on the Bud Light and Michelob Ultra accounts.
Okay.
But
Yeah, the Mud Light Party.
No, you can't hear it.
Red light party?
Yeah, that's what the,
That-
that's, there's
It
like,
played on the election site.
Yeah.
It was,
Can't hear it.
it was cheap. Yeah, thank you, TJ.
Well, we could hear it on that. On YouTube.
and I found out about AJ
Yeah.
Vandersnap. I guess he's.
Vandersnipe?
What?
What? What did you say? And you said AJ what?
Vandersnap, Vanderchuck.
Okay.
But
Proceed.
he has Crohn's disease. and
Which is
he's-
what? What is that?
What is Crohn's? Well, in the intestines, you get an excessive buildup of scar tissue.
Huh.
And you can no longer have regular bowel movements. It's extremely painful. A lot of times you have to go in for surgery to have the feces removed from your intestines
Wow.
because the scar tissue builds up and the turd can't pass through.
Yeah, technical terminology.
Got
The
it.
turd.
Okay.
Yeah,
So where do you, how do you get it? Is it contagious or what?
No.
It's
Hereditary?
hereditary. It's you're kind of born with it or not, and all they can really do is put it in remission. They can't. There's no cure for it.
Okay, so his brother has that.
Mhm.
Okay.
And he says just time for it. He said he's having problems with, he says struggling with balance of publicly, talking
Wait,
about
who's
it,
struggling?
this and that.
AJ or,
yeah.
okay.
So I guess he was COO. And
And did you find out anything? Is he well respected? Or is he like the brother, Gary's brother?
It's probably the case.
Gary's brother?
Yeah.
They're not like the dynamic duo?
he on everything I've read about him, research, he keeps saying that pretty much his brother is the top dog. And like even though they both
Who's saying
created,
he?
AJ is saying that Gary is like the top dog. He's
Well,
the
we
one
know
that
that.
created it. Yeah, but they really co-founded together.
Okay, but was it like, this is my brother, we're doing it?
Right.
This is my brother Fredo,
Yeah,
I'm
it's like,
Michael and he's
I did
Fredo.
this and here's my brother.
Okay. Okay, good. Some people saw The Godfather. Okay.
Yeah, I see, yeah.
Okay, TJ.
Hello, everybody, I'm TJ.
Okay, you gotta move a little bit closer.
You want mine?
Yeah.
All right, here you go.
Are you guys using the mic mount?
Yeah.
Okay, good, all right.
There you go.
Okay, remember, there's no hats in here.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
And I don't know if Lieutenant Skelly is gonna say you guys have to wear colored shirts, but my hunch is that you would.
I have a collar shirt.
Well,
I have my.
not everybody has a colored shirt.
I just didn't wear a collar shirt, so I wear a sweatshirt.
Okay, well, that's a Casa Grande issue.
All right, can't find it.
Sorry, I didn't hear you, what?
I said.
Bravo. Proceed, TJ.
I'm working on it. yeah.
Okay. So give us what are you going to talk about? Tell us what you're going to tell us, and tell us what you told us.
All right. Well, what I'm going to talk about is how the company grew from 40 employees to over 500 in just 40 months. and
Okay,
the
but wait a
pros and cons
second,
of it.
sorry. This is part of law school, interruptions, because they say the judge is going to do that all the time, so you have to get used to being interrupted. But I just wanted to acknowledge, good job on getting your job at, where is that place? Yeah, okay. And what is the position?
It's just a crew member for now, but
Okay.
then after the probationary period, they're supposed to be training me to be the manager.
Good, okay, excellent.
Once again, we're going back to
The purple
how
cow.
he grew from 40 employees to over 500 employees in just 40 months,
Okay,
and the pros and cons of that. From what I read on Gary, I can't really pronounce his last name.
Vaynerchuk.
Vaynerchuk, there you go, is that from the beginning, he wanted to base his company off of culture and personal relations, which I find kind of ironic because of the technology aspect of his advertising. And a lot of people say that because of technology, the social interaction between people is going away.
right,
And yet someone that's leading in that type of advertising makes it a point so that social interaction is the most important of his company. And I thought that was,
right, good point. Okay, that's a good point.
so one of his things is he claims he is a HR-based CEO.
He's what?
An HR-based CEO, human relations,
Okay.
and that the hiring process is an emotional, the hiring process is emotional and not a financial one.
Okay. So it's
Whereas-
good, more good information.
Whereas, a lot of people look at, when you go into hire, what kind of qualifications do you have? How much am I going to have to pay you? He goes in and looks at how they can relate to others and how they would be able to work in a group. And he
So
doesn't look
working
at
in a
the
group is
financial.
important.
Absolutely. His whole company is based on working together in teams. If you can't work in a group, you're not going to be able to make it in the company. Now, one of the downfalls
So
to
Steve
growing,
Jobs went to made it there.
one of the downfalls
I think you made it though.
of growing too fast is that they don't have enough employees to work on the projects and be really optimal.
Mhm.
So they're having to work a lot longer of hours. And then I also read that they have unlimited vacation there, which kind of, I don't know, if you're lacking on employees to work on your projects, but then say one of your employees wants to go on vacation and they can stay however long they want, that would put a hit on working on said project.
Okay, but they might say to their people, but if you do go on vacation,
Give
we're
us
going to
some
fill your
notice.
spot
Well, yeah, that would be,
on the team.
Yeah.
And now you're not on a team. Or
And
you're on
see-
the not fun team.
one of the, and I went to a lot of different websites. I think one of them was Glassdoor. I didn't realize that that's not a good thing to do.
Well,
But
it could be.
even on good reviews that were like 4 out of 5 stars, a lot of people were saying that the company's organized because they're growing, unorganized because they're growing too fast, and the management skills are just horrible. And there's no work and life balance with the group dynamic in there, because the only way you're going to make it in the company is if you'll work well as a group, but then when happy hour time comes and everybody wants to go out, if you aren't going out with them, then you aren't moving on with the company.
Okay.
And they're saying that there's a lot of gossip and promotions are based on popularity instead of the merit of your work.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, everybody loves working there.
Huh.
Everybody says that, what in here?
Oh, 53%.
Yeah. Well, no, from what I read, it was
Okay.
higher than that. but-
Okay, all right. I would suspect that it is.
Yeah, they said the
53%
people are
of the
amazing. The people you work with are amazing people and very inspirational.
Okay, so these are probably younger people who do a lot of stuff, and they're all, you say something good about me, I'm going to say something good about you, versus
Could
a
be.
guy that's in his 50s saying, I'm not going to waste my time posting something like that. So we just got to filter in.
Right. And what I tried to do is go through and read many different reviews and find a common denominator in
Mhm.
even the bad and the good ones, because everyone had a pro and a con,
Mhm.
and the ones that were more pros still had the same cons, and some of them that were all cons still had the same pros. And that's
Okay.
kind of what I figured
Okay.
if,
Now, does everybody, what are some things people agree on? Like, is it a lot of hard work? Because in his personal videos, what's the main thing he talks about?
Do work.
Hard work, right?
it's hard work
Everybody's-
and long hours.
everybody's thinking-
Everybody says that.
Okay.
Hard work and long hours.
You're working weekends.
Yeah.
It says that in there. You're working weekends for a few hours every weekend.
And you'll stay late and not get much sleep like that. People crashing at the office just to catch a little shut-eye so that they can come back and work.
Okay, so let's ask this question of the group. If people are acting like that, or working like that, how come they're losing major accounts? Something's not right.
Yeah.
Well,
Dave, what do you say?
Well, I think they're overworking their people if they're doing that, because you're only optimal, you only work so well for so long before you start to burn out.
Okay. Brain research is that you just working longer than a certain number of hours is not good.
I know who came up with that.
Not Henry Ford. Is that what you were going to say?
That's what I'm saying.
Henry Ford's thing
He
was
set the hours.
physical labor.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Physical labor. How many hours was it for mental labor?
4 hours, right?
I think it was
You get-
3 hours of mental labor and then
I think it was 5,
Oh, was it 5?
but all really top sales guys I know, top executives say they work 3.
Yeah.
Balls to the wall, 3 hours. No interruptions, no doing anything.
Don't
It's
answer
just
your
focus.
phone, no.
It's just 100% focus for 3 hours.
They're in the flow for 3 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so
But in
So
wrap
Dave
up,
has a good point. Wait, what is your answer? Why, if people are working like that, are they losing major accounts? Because the reason you should be working like that is
It's
because
to
you're
gain
getting
Yeah, major accounts.
and you're keeping
Right.
accounts.
I don't know, I have a little experience in sales. I work my ass off, 12 hours a day, 12, 14 hours a day for many years, six days a week. So I kind of see where Dave's coming from with saying that, you just, once you've concentrated and focused so much on one thing, you get burnt out on it. And because you aren't pulling away from it and you're staying there and you're in the repetitive cycle of
Or going out drinking.
you're not really helping yourself accomplish more. You're just sort of setting yourself back. So in that retrospect, if you're trying to gain more clients or you're trying to retain business, it's going to end up biting you in the ass in the end.
Okay, so good point. So here's the thing about going out drinking or drinking with your stuff in the old days when it wasn't politically incorrect. Because in the old days, drinking was part of your job.
yeah.
If you go out, the dynamics are you're not talking about business when you're out in a bar. You might be just, blah, blah, very high level.
Mm-hmm.
If you bring booze, beer party, pizzas into work and you're drinking, creativity and stuff goes up because now your focus is we're in our space, we're in our cave.
And it
You know?
loosens you up a little bit.
Well, yeah. The drinking loosens you up, but the problem with Zappos and the problem with probably these guys, when you said going out drinking, is when they're all hanging out together and they're going out drinking, they're not talking about the account.
Right.
They're
I think
talking
the whole
about
point of their
who are you
going out
dating,
for
what was
now,
this
the hours to get
movie,
away from it.
what are good bars
It's
and
too much
whatever.
drama that's accumulating instead of work being done.
Okay, now what's the Atari thing? What did Atari do? For the people who were at the Iron Yard. Anybody remember?
When I was in there.
Hot tub, beer parties, hot tub at Atari when they started.
Oh, yeah?
Really good looking girls in the hot tub. So when they wanted to recruit a nerdy engineer, they'd make sure to bring him into the office while the girls were in the hot tub, invite him in.
The more I learn, the more I like going for stuff.
Yeah. So-
Someone's got it together. He's doing his thing.
And in Silicon Valley, it used to really be, we bring the booze into the place on Fridays and at nights. Because it loosens you up.
Right.
You're not afraid to say things that you would normally not say.
Which
Okay.
inspires creativity.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, Steve,
Yes.
what's your answer?
I believe that on their projects, they were working so long and so diligently on projects and had too many of them to do and not enough available employee resources that their quality dropped.
Okay, so reframe that in terms of people are working long hours and weekends, but they're losing accounts.
Yes, because you have, let's say, 500 employees trying to get enough work done with all these accounts that you need 600 employees for. So, like you've told us before,
Okay.
the fast to finish,
First to finish, yeah, right, fast to finish.
not first to finish,
Yeah.
but fast to finish. The problem is some of your stuff's gonna come out not as good as it could have from you. And that's just the thing of, well, we're working, each team's working on 5 different projects. We only can allocate this amount of time and resources to each one. So we believe this to be good, but it's not all the way to our full potential. So I think that's what happened with these Michelob Ultra and Bud Light ads. Because I think if I viewed some of the older ads, I'd probably like them. Like I said, these were weak ads from a beer company which have a big advertising budget.
Okay. Mike, what is your answer to the question?
They actually hit 600 employees in May,
Yeah,
but so then they need what, 800 employees to work on this project instead of 500 or 600. But I believe that it's a great company and they have a lot of.
Wait,
great minds.
hold on. We're asking the question. How can they have people working such long hours and they're losing accounts?
That's what I'm into.
Okay.
Is they have a lot of good employees and with great minds and great ideas. They just came up with a good idea, but Budweiser or Bud Light and I didn't like it, so they chose to drop it.
Well, but it's not that they didn't like it.
Market research
Yeah.
showed that the consumers were turned away by it.
So why would
Good
consumers
draw.
be turned away? If you have these people that are really creative and smart working all these hours.
They came up with an idea that they thought was gonna boom and it didn't.
So that means what? They just blew it, they just made a mistake
Yeah.
and
We
nobody
don't
caught
see
it.
any other, I
Nobody
haven't
caught
heard
it.
any other contracts or anything they lost. They keep gaining and gaining and gaining.
That's the
Okay,
point I
but
was
they
just
closed down an office,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's ask the question. I mean, this is a very fundamental thing. Are they still growing or are they not growing?
I see them still growing.
Okay,
Budweiser, they still have a Budweiser account.
Right.
They just don't have the Bud Light and Michelob Light.
right. But earlier somebody said that they closed down San Francisco because they lost an account. And they laid off a bunch of people in New York because they lost an account.
So are they growing or not growing?
Could be,
They're stagnant right now.
well,
What I was gonna add, so I think one of the main reasons that consumers didn't necessarily, let's say, flock to these Bud Light ads is because this election season, we were bombarded with so many election ads. No one wanted to even see like a parody of it, you know? They're playing a parody of the election style stuff, the Bud Light party, this Bud Light's for you, all that. I believe the general public was just so like, I don't want to see any more ads, local political ads, national, state level and all that. Then that's another reason it wasn't receptive to their audience.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen this many political ads, even me and my dad talked about it last time he visited, is that he has never seen this many political ads in any election cycle before.
well, okay, so that's a good point. So the thing is that since Jimmy Carter, the number of political ads keeps increasing. When Obama ran, it was the first $1 billion
Ad campaign.
election
Running for office,
thing.
yeah.
Okay, this one I think is $2 billion. And when Jimmy Carter ran, they hardly had any money. He was staying overnight at people's houses. He couldn't even afford to stay in hotels. Just because people didn't spend money like that back then. Okay, so TJ, you're still up, right? Or were you done?
No, basically, there are, from everything I've heard, the employees.
Heard?
Well, read
Okay,
and researched.
okay.
The employees like the environment they work in, but they think in some ways it's counterproductive to the business aspect. Like they say that they're cliquey, like in high school.
Okay,
And then if you aren't part of the right clique, you're not going to get the promotion. You're not going to be part of the real
okay.
high, what is it?
Prestige,
Yeah, well, the prestige, and you aren't going to get the good accounts delivered.
okay.
You're going to
okay.
get the lower budget accounts.
Good, all right, so let's go to Fernando, and then we will wrap up with our action items of how we turn this to our advantage.
Fernando. I'm gonna be talking about where he has spoken at the countries and how many events he's
Did
spoken
you
in.
notice yourself up there?
Yeah,
Okay,
In the shadow.
can't really see me.
I can, why don't you move?
It's like one of those old commercials where they're like, you don't, or one of those,
Right,
one of us
I'm
getting
gonna be- you
land
can
or
see me.
whatever, and he's in the, Yeah.
Blurred out.
okay, proceed.
We started doing events since October 2008 to just recently in June. He has spoken in France back in 2010, 2013. Here in the US is from 2008 and on. And in Canada, he's spoken 3 times, 2011, 2012, and 13. The Netherlands, he spoke
What
once
is
this
he
year.
speaking about?
Yeah, that's the one I didn't.
Oh, okay. Okay, so he speaks a lot around the
Yeah.
world. How many times, how many total of these things are
He
there?
has spoken in 43 events in
In
seven
the
different
last,
countries.
and when? What,
Since from 2008 till this year.
okay. And you know, like in 2008, he did 2, and then he did 10,
Yes,
and,
that's what I just,
okay,
in 2008, he spoke twice, 2009 once, 2010 10 times, 2011 11 times, 2012 5, and 2013 11 times, 2014 twice, 2015 twice, and 2016 he spoke 4 times.
anybody know what year he got married? Or how old his kid is?
He has 2 kids.
Okay,
Just had a baby girl this year in,
in 2016?
yep, and May 31st, and 2012 his boy.
Okay, so how many speaking engagements in 2012 and 13?
In 2012 he spoke 5 times, and in 13 he spoke 11 times.
16.
16,
Oh,
4.
yeah.
4,
4 times this year.
okay. And when did he get married? Anybody know?
No,
Is his wife Russian?
I was on it, but it wasn't given any
On
information about her.
Wikipedia,
Yeah. She was
just said
like,
her name?
yeah,
Did it seem like it was a Russian name?
no, it's Lizzie.
Could be Russian. Could be, some kind of Russian version of Elizabeth. Okay, Fernando, anything else?
He's written 5 books.
Okay,
His first book was in 2008. He wrote 101 Wines.
okay,
And in 2009, he wrote Why Now is the Time to Crush It, Cash is Passion. 2011, he wrote Thank You, I can say Economy.
okay,
In 2013, he wrote Jab, Jab, Right Hook. And in 2016, he wrote Ask Gary V1 Entrepreneurs Take on Leadership, Social Media, and Self-Awareness.
okay. Any idea how the book sold?
November 13, 2004.
November 13th,
2004, they
2004.
got married.
So they've been married a while, so they didn't have kids right away. Right?
No.
Okay.
2012, first baby boy.
Okay. Okay, now,
Sorry to interrupt.
how do we turn this to our advantage, this information? First of all, do we have enough information
No.
to be able to answer the question of how do we turn this to our advantage?
We can get one more.
Well, how much more do we need?
I think we need to really learn, is he actually growing? What
Yeah.
are his financials like right now?
Exactly.
Because like you said, you would like it to see, hey, you don't have a Vegas hub. Vegas is a premier city. You go to trade shows, conventions here. It's a big deal. So why don't you just absorb the IAM?
Mhm.
I mean, it becomes
Vayner Media.
I think you really have to research, where is he at financially? What's his cash like? Is he in a room for growth right now? Or is it a thing where you're like, we'd have to approach this again 6 months down the road,
Okay.
18 months down the road,
Now-
et cetera.
Okay, so good point. The Chinese way of doing business is different than ours. So we always say, if we're not doing well, we need to cut back, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of what you were just saying?
Yeah.
Okay, the Chinese approach is, business is slow, I need to open a new business. Huh? Business is slow, I need to open a new business. What does that mean?
We get more business if we have more locations.
Which is it's kind of like what he's doing right now.
But
Maybe, we don't know.
on Coursera,
You do?
Yeah,
He just closed San Francisco on the 2nd.
But he also just opened Vayner Talent, which is gonna bring.
Where's that?
It's
In
on-
New York?
Yeah, but it's on the web. It's not like a.
Is this the
Office. It's a
service?
service.
Okay.
And he's gonna,
So he's getting rid of people?
I don't know, for Vayner Talent. I know that he's just opening Vayner Talent right now, and it's gonna be a talent-based agency for entertainment.
For people?
So like production side of things,
Well, like what production side?
like.
Like camera people or on screen?
Like on-screen entertainment, music, so on and so forth.
Okay, so maybe he's going a different direction.
Different direction.
Maybe he's saying we don't need to have offices.
We don't need to have $1 billion in offices when we can have one main hub and do everything on the internet and use the internet
Okay.
model.
So how do we counteract that?
think we just.
because we know that's not true.
No,
Definitely.
but you need people on the ground places.
Yeah,
And what he doesn't have is sales.
it's probably him.
That's it, which is kind of stretching himself pretty thin. Reminds me of somebody I know.
I think we can learn from his mistakes.
Reminds me of somebody I know very well.
Don't jump to conclusions. Having some of the facts and making conclusions is always usually very dangerous.
I understand.
Dangerous territory.
I understand.
It's about execution,
Oh.
right? It's not about, so I think one of the things we're getting, since we can't really see anything about who else is in his company, right? Okay, I only found his new chief creative officer out of Boulder, Colorado.
His information is, he's secretive.
Well, maybe he's not secretive, maybe there isn't just any other good talent.
No, I mean, like, there's not a plethora of information on his company online.
Well, he doesn't really necessarily have to display that.
No, I mean, like, and I respect him for that.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of businesses, they put out too much laundry out there.
Right.
He seems like he plays his hand closer to the vest, and he goes, I let people find out what I let them find out. Because there's other businesses, I've seen, you type in something about that business, you get like water cooler talk on blogs and stuff.
Well, he's out there a lot himself.
Yeah.
Maybe, as he said in one of his things, his ego is such that he's got to be on billboards. Maybe he can't have anybody who would,
Takes away some of that
yeah, maybe,
spotlight. He needs all the spotlight from himself.
maybe, we don't know, right? We don't know. But, one of the main reasons people appear to be spread too thin is because of execution. That's a Nolan issue, is Nolan has a new idea every day for a business. But the problem is he doesn't have people who can go do it. He doesn't have an organization. And it's not really because he's not a good manager. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Tony Shea, same type of thing. He can't execute. And, what I'm getting, when you close down offices, that means those people can't execute. Huh? Fundamentally, it's, okay, you guys have this office. Okay, I'm taking it away. And why would you take it away? Because, they're not pulling their weight. And this was the downtown project, the Tony Shea downtown project, hiring a bunch of young, talented, but inexperienced people who all of a sudden thought they were better than everyone because they got hired by Tony Shea and they didn't have to dress professionally and they weren't held accountable to anything. And so they didn't really do anything because they weren't held accountable. And then a year later, everybody, 100 people got laid off, 138 people got laid off. And then everybody turned against Tony Shea, saying, well, he's a bad manager. Maybe he is a bad manager. But the other thing is that people didn't execute.
Comes officer back to VaynerMedia.
Mm-hmm.
Sonny Bird is head of BetaBox business division at VaynerMedia.
What's BetaBox?
It has nothing about, it's like blank, everything's blank.
Did you do a Google search on BetaBox? Okay,
It's,
maybe that's just a department. Beta means
yeah.
what?
Still in testing.
Yeah.
It's the first version.
Well, that's second. Alpha is first.
and chief executive officer of BetaBox.
He's what?
It says he is the founder and chief executive officer of BetaBox.
Okay, so BetaBox now sounds like it's a company. And you did a Google search BetaBox and nothing came up?
No, I looked at like key people and it popped up 3 people.
But
Gary.
he bought BetaBox,
Huh?
or he's an investor in it?
No, I'll look up here. But I was looking key people of VaynerMedia.
Yeah.
And only 3 people came up. Gary, AJ, and then Sonny.
Okay, how old is that thing that you're looking at, that posting?
today.
Okay, what is it that you're looking at? Like, is it a story, a newspaper story, or?
It's Bloomberg.
Okay, so Bloomberg wrote a story today.
Mhm.
What's it called?
Sonny Burr joins VaynerMedia as
Okay.
head of new business division.
Okay, But you didn't find out the-
Corporate headquarters to 10 Hudson Yards.
okay, but there, you haven't seen anything on their new Chief Creative Officer, guy from Boulder, Colorado. I can't
That's
remember.
what, when you said that, I'd seen Colorado somewhere earlier, so I was trying to go back and see who that was.
Okay, all right, okay. So in law school, you know, the main thing the first year is don't be conclusionary. Don't come to conclusions without all of the facts. And I think we've got mixed facts here, right? There's some good, some bad. Is there any reason not to proceed on the basis that VaynerMedia should be in Las Vegas?
No.
Okay, can anybody argue the other side?
No.
Okay, you can't, can you?
That they should
Argue,
be in Las
yeah.
Vegas?
Based upon what we've learned, could you argue that they should not be in Vegas?
Well, one of the
I
things I
can't.
would say is if they just closed down the San Francisco or San Diego office,
San Francisco.
okay, why would they be opening another one in Las Vegas?
What's your argument?
That is my argument. Why would you open another one in Las Vegas? That's not, it doesn't, if you're already laying people off,
I think this is like a perspective for the future.
No, no.
Like, could you see him come to Vegas in 6 months?
Well, what I'm saying is, can you argue why they should not come to Vegas?
because you're already spread too thin, you don't have enough.
Okay, that's an argument.
Cover the product
That's an argument.
that you have.
There's another argument. If you can't make it in San Francisco, that's a much larger market with
Right.
Silicon Valley right down the street. How could you possibly think you could make it here, which is so much smaller?
And we're here.
How could you, I mean, that's an argument. That would be an argument. If you can't make it in San Francisco, how could you possibly make it here? In a city where it's not what you know, it's who you know. Okay, anybody have any other arguments? So why Vayner should not come here? Anybody trying to think of any arguments of why they shouldn't come here?
Why they shouldn't?
Yeah.
Because then we gotta compete against them.
We
Huh?
can't compete
What?
against them, Dave. We can't compete
I'm
against
just
them.
messing around. Well.
Well, apparently they can't compete with us.
Yeah, because we're here.
They're in New York
Yeah.
and London. And
Yeah, but they're not here.
Los Angeles.
They're not here, right? So should they be here? My hunch is they should.
Yes.
Okay, but why shouldn't they? Like if you're Gary's guy, who's the guy whose job is to say no, what is your reason to say no? Okay, so I think TJ came up with two. Somebody came up with, we can't afford it,
We just
we're
lost
cutting
a-
back.
We just lost a bunch of money losing Bud Light and Michelob Ultra ad. We had to shut down the San Francisco branch. We got to hemorrhage the loss right now. We can't afford to open another location in an unknown environment and be in Las Vegas because they probably don't have much.
Okay, now what's the counter to that?
There's nobody out here. Like that does what, there's no one out here that I know of that does what they do on their scale.
Okay, what's the counter to we need to cut back and regroup? Because that was your first thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so somebody needs to take the argument and say, no,
No,
blah, blah, blah.
You need to open up in Las Vegas is a totally new client base.
To recoup our losses.
Okay, so that would be one thing. We need to
No.
recoup our
We
losses.
have to make payroll every Friday.
Okay, so that's the counter to that. What's the counter to the counter counter?
Well, the Rams are most likely going to Las Vegas and opening a lot.
Okay, so another thing is, look, guys,
Raiders, whatever.
they just got a hockey team.
Not to mention, they made most
They
of
got
their
40
money.
million visitors.
They made most of their money in the NHL with the New York Jets to start off with. That's how VaynerMedia got going.
The New York Jets.
Adjust our business
No,
model.
he said and. It's in hockey and, right?
NHL and the New York Jets. Just to recap, some of their biggest clients are Budweiser, Snuggle, 20th Century Fox, New York Jets, NHL, Mountain Dew, Stella Artois, Spotify, Ritz, Quaker, Mr. Robot, Occulto, Sonic, Chris Chrisley, Dove, Sour Patch Kids. Like, the dude ain't broke. All right, the dude's got clients out the ass. That's what, I mean, we lose a little bit on the side. We still hold Budweiser. We lose. I was just reading actually on these videos on YouTube about the Amy Schumer video and why people disliked the Bud Light commercials. And it wasn't necessarily the, I guess it wasn't necessarily the content. It was the people who represented the content. It was Amy Schumer and it was Seth.
That's what I said.
It wasn't even necessarily the whole design of. And
No, it was relying on the celebrity status of the
Exactly.
people playing the
Okay,
part.
well, and Amy Schumer was very negative on Trump.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
She was very negative on Trump before, and some people might have gotten turned off to the commercial just because of her.
And because of her stand-up comedy.
And said, I'm not drinking Bud anymore, because I think my hunch would be Bud drinkers are mostly Republican, not Democrats. Would you guys agree?
Oh, yeah, most of them drink wine.
Look, if Bud Light is trying to convince people not to buy their beer, they're doing a terrific job. The sight of Amy Schumer is enough to send millions running away screaming.
Okay.
And there's like 193 replies.
But everybody thought Hillary was going to win, right? Except Bud is the Trump drinkers. It's the middle America people, the people who have jobs, right? If you look at the
Working class America.
exactly is Bud. So I
Much
could
prefer
see.
that term to what they've been spouting over
Yes, Mike.
the news.
Found the CCO, Chief Creative Officer of Boulder,
Got it. What's his name?
Steve Babcock.
Babcock. Okay. Now,
B-A-B-C-O-C-K.
did you see a picture of the guy from the head of their Chattanooga office?
His last name's Cloud.
Nobody saw his picture. Okay.
But this guy started his career in the mailroom
Yeah.
at Davis in Salt Lake City.
Right.
And maybe he's moving, maybe you get to a point where you're moving on to bigger and better things. Like he invested this 25 million or whatever it was into the Hudson Yards in New York, which is still being worked on. And
You can't expect everything you touch to turn to gold either.
no, and so, you know, it's this is said that it's the engineered city. It's like supposed to be the most prime real estate there's going to be in New York.
This is the old shipping yards that they redid,
Right.
redeveloped.
Right. So
Huge.
undertaking.
Yeah.
So
There could be a floor there that's 900,000 square feet. I don't remember it being 25 stories
They
up.
made no indication that it was like multiple floors, pretty much say the 25th floor is ours.
yeah, it's not just this isn't a little project. This is the real.
Well, this
deal.
was the Navy Yard, the shipyard.
Right. Consists of 4 huge buildings.
Yeah.
And then convention space and all kinds of shit all over the place. So, but he's an original investor to this. So maybe he wanted to pull out of some things and get rid of some people to save some money, to invest more money into other projects that are going to make him more money.
Well, if San Francisco is pulling their own, you're not going to pull them out. You're not going to shut it down.
Yeah.
There's too many questions to answer. If they're doing their job,
To make more
but
money.
that's a tough place to go because of Silicon Valley. You know, if we look at what are the top ad agencies in the country, media companies in the country, how many of them have offices in San Francisco?
Mhm.
Probably almost all of them.
And have offices in Silicon Valley.
Probably almost all of them.
More than likely, almost all of them.
Okay, tough market.
Yeah.
To get
But New
into.
York's not an easy market. He made it in New York.
Well, but that's where he is.
Yeah, but he made it in New York amongst giants in New York.
Right, but he's there. He's not
Oh,
in San Francisco.
I got you.
You know, who's the guy in San Francisco? We don't know.
Right.
Right?
Who was the guy in San Francisco?
Yeah. Do they still have their Facebook page? VaynerMedia San Francisco?
I don't know where,
Because they had one for LA.
Yes. They have, I didn't open it though.
Well, let's see. see who the guy is. Of sorts. Okay, next. Any reason they should not come to Vegas? Any other reason or counter to that reason?
So they could just hire us because we're already here. He doesn't spread himself too thin. We make some money. He uses stuff,
Okay, but this seems to be a guy that wants,
control of everything.
well, he doesn't want anybody else's name unless you're in the family.
So let him just buy us out.
Well, his problem is he needs to have success on the street.
There's no information on the Facebook page.
Okay,
It all comes back to the sales part of things all over again. It comes back to, he seems like he's got his sales shit together. He seems like, but.
he does.
He does.
But
But
once again, when it all comes, as far as Las Vegas goes, like you said, it's who you know
Here,
here. And who does he know here? I mean, are you just gonna come out here and open up and try and start something when you don't know anybody here?
Right.
I would say that would be
Right.
one of the downfalls why you wouldn't want to come to Las Vegas.
okay, but so what I hear you saying is if you know somebody here, then you might.
If you had someone on the ground already, yeah,
Right,
absolutely.
okay,
Like us.
correct,
Opening doors for you to go through.
right. Because he can walk through the door that's open, right?
Right.
If the door's open a crack, he's gonna push his way in.
But the problem here is people aren't gonna open the door to somebody they don't know personally.
Correct, which is an advantage
what,
to people who are here.
did anybody find out how much VaynerMedia is actually worth? Did we figure that out?
I did.
He's worth 10
I
million.
know he's
I
worth-
thought I saw something.
I thought I saw something, they had $50 million in billings.
It's not a publicly traded company?
No,
It's privately owned.
which 50 million is not a lot.
No, it's not.
Okay, well, this was good. This was a very good, how long did we do this? Only 1 hour?
Hour and a half.
Okay, hour and a half. See, this would be impossible to do when you guys started. We wouldn't be able to go this long. Okay, so tremendous, much more depth, breadth, ability to do research.
Breadth and height.
Some of us, yeah. Okay, and so good. And this was just a 2-hour assignment?
Yeah.
Okay, so, the ultimate snap thing would be working on this for a week. Now, what do we think we would know if we had a week? 20 hours per person.
What time he went to take a piss every day?
We would know the ins and outs of the business.
We don't know whether he sits down to pee or not.
Yeah.
For real talk.
You turn me loose on the internet like that, I'm gonna come back with stuff you didn't even think was possible.
Okay, well, we're not really saying that, but
Like, if you turn me loose with a time frame like that, I will build a strong database of nothing
But informative information.
exactly.
okay.
Anything you
Not
ever
hearsay.
wanted to know and more.
Exactly. There's no
Okay.
Who,
timeline.
what, where, why.
Good. Well, excellent job. Thanks, everyone. We'll sign out.
I'm on
See you, world.
3D World.
All right.
Okay.
All right, Nolan, don't forget those stocks.
That's called shares, Dave.
Shares,
You don't,